logo for something. I don't know why I'll figure that
Weird.
out. Do. It's showing something else like a little green thing. I'm watching all the Olympics today.
Nice.
I watch badminton. I watch rugby. I watch all the stuff.
Yeah, I guess Mike is live.
Are we live on our Facebook page though? I think we are.
Instagram, I've gotten.
I think we are.
Oh, I just got Twitch.
Yeah, it says we are. Check. There's a check mark there. Twitch. Yep. And, let's see what it says on. Let's see what it says on Twitter.
Do you go on Twitter still? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Dude, like Monday when we recorded, man, we had so many people watching. Do you remember that?
I know, that's great. Yeah, see, it even says like it shows us on the top of Twitter. See?
Okay. Oh yeah, I've seen it with other people I follow too. Yeah.
I didn't even know it did that. That's pretty cool. Join. What happens if it says join? Oh, there we are. Right there. Boom.
Oh yeah, and I see you on Facebook now.
That's cool.
As you, not Be Our Guest podcast though. Is that how you want it though? I can't remember.
For what?
So it shows you are live, not the podcast. Is that how you normally do it though? On Facebook?
No, I got us for both.
Oh, okay.
I got on both.
Oh, yep, I see it now.
Yep, cool. Okay, so let's see here. What was I gonna do? I was gonna do this. Post over on the Facebook page.
You want some Olympic events?
And post here. Hello to Fulton out in Indiana and to Maggie up in the Mitten.
Michigan, represent.
That's right. We are going to get started in just a second. It looks like Skype is working tonight. Thank goodness. I've been playing with it this afternoon. Oh, she's got papers to grade.
Dude, the reach of the podcast like is amazing. I mean, I always give you like all the kudos in the world because you've built this great thing, Mike. But like, I'll get a DM. I got a DM like this weekend from someone that lives like not that far from me. Like, oh yeah, I've been listening to the podcast for years. I'm like, I just think that's so cool, you know.
See, that's how it's gonna be with your vlog. It's getting there. I mean, today it's booming and bam. I mean,
it's just so cool, you know. Like
we gotta keep
the world is big, but then it's small, and in the same sense. Like, oh my god, like you live 25 miles from me, and like you're a big Be Our Guest podcast fan. I love it.
That is the cool thing about like the podcast and all this stuff. Though is like when you were talking with Mel down in Australia.
Oh
right?
Yeah.
But I mean, the thing is, like, you could be talking to so Pam was talking to somebody that listens to our podcast. It's on the board, the cheerleading booster board with her. Oh yeah, I listen to the podcast. Like she's on the fantasy right now. She's like, oh yeah, I'm going on the fantasy.
Oh, that's so great.
She's on the ship right now.
I don't even want to see this for the show. I never really asked you though. Like, how did Pam's family like the fantasy? Or no, they weren't on the fantasy. They were on the Wish, right? No, okay.
Her mom is just not a cruise person.
Okay,
like
you were saying that ahead of time too. Yeah,
she was either gonna love it or hate it, and she didn't. I mean, she didn't like not like it.
Okay,
I don't think she's gonna.
She's not. She didn't book a placeholder. Is what you're saying?
She did not. She said she liked the shows and she liked it. You know what I'm saying? But she didn't like being. She never went to look at the water. Is what she said. Like,
oh man, that's my favorite part.
But she doesn't know. Like she never learned how to swim. Like she's just very old school. Like she doesn't like being around water. And so a cruise is a very hard sell.
Yeah, for sure.
But I mean, she tried it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
did she go to Castaway? Did she get off the ship or anything? Or
she did, but she has mobility issues, and like they didn't have any of the wheelchairs.
Yeah. I just wasn't sure because like going to the beach for someone that doesn't like water might not be the most ideal thing either. Though.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was more like she didn't want to like look outside because they had a veranda stateroom, but I don't think she even went out.
Oh man, they should have just had it inside at that point.
I know. Well, they had like a big, they want to have like space. But
I get it. Yeah, I get it for sure. Okay, well,
that's
awesome. She tried it though.
Exactly. But I don't think they were. I don't think they're jonesing for it like I do.
But it was like, was it Sandy that sailed, or like was it?
No, Sandy's the only one that didn't. It was Donna that sailed. Donna's her oldest sister. She sailed in the same stateroom with Elaine, my mother-in-law. Okay. But then Teresa is Pam's other sister. She was in a different stateroom with her son Grant.
Okay,
that's how they went to.
Because I know we've sailed with Sandy and Andy. I know they like it.
So. Oh yeah, they love it. But she had to work and stuff, so she
gotcha. Okay, cool. Well, yeah, I was just curious. I never asked you how that went.
No,
we both back from our trips. We're excited
right.
about all of our stuff. You know.
No, they had a good time. They just she had a decent time, but I don't think it was just she played a lot of bingo. She liked playing bingo.
Okay, there you go.
I really think, and I asked her, I think Royal would have been a better fit for her because she's like a casino, like she likes going
yeah.
And like when you're in a casino, you don't see like you don't know you're on like you could really tell that you're not on a ship. You know what I'm saying? Because you're like locked in, you don't see anything. But
yeah, maybe. I mean, but bingo is good for her too. Like that's what I say. Like Disney Cruise Line, Royal Caribbean, like you're gonna find something for everybody.
Yeah,
like, there's gonna be at least one thing that like they get you with. I feel like.
Yeah, and I mean she's a big Disney person, so she had a good time with like the show. Cool. She loved the shows, she loved the meals, stuff like that. She had a good time, but she's she could also go to Vegas too. So that's a better than
and there's no water in Vegas; it's a desert.
Right, so. Right. It was just but she tried it, so I was
cool.
proud of her doing that.
Cool. All right. Didn't mean to take so much time asking that question.
No, that was cool. All right, so let's take some calls.
Hey Jay, I was following your Instagram post, man. That was awesome seeing you in Disneyland.
It's a Michigan takeover.
Yeah, I think it's from Grand Rapids, if I recall.
Oh man, Disneyland is so awesome. All right, let's do this. Let's see. We got that queued up. We got this queued up. And here we go.
Quick trip, though. I don't think you were there very long, were you?
Oh, man. It's never long enough, though. All right, here we go. Well, hey, everybody. Welcome to the BOGP Open Line for Sunday night, July 28th, 2024. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Sunday night to you. We're in the middle of the Olympics around the world over in Paris, France, which we're going to talk about on Friday. Scott's going to tell us all about Disneyland Paris. I did some research this afternoon so I can talk about that with Scott. But tonight, it's the open line. It's your show. We're going to be taking your calls at 407-413-9395. It's your show. This is the best show of the week because we don't know where it's going. It's totally up to you. 407-413-9395. Give us a call. The phone lines are open for the next hour, but joining me, it's your friend and mine, hashtag Scotty G. Check him out over at Must See Adventures over on YouTube. What's up, Scott?
Happy Sunday, Mike. Yeah, we just posted a new video. We actually board the Royal Caribbean ship. So it's kind of cool. We have a stateroom tour. I know a lot of people I find that interesting, right? Like I love to see what different ship stateroom setups are like because they're kind of small. So we share how we pack 19 days worth of clothes in a small stateroom. So I love if you tune in, watch them, or you get some creative ideas for yourself on how to pack and organize your stateroom. That's like the big thing, but touring the ship and all that stuff too. So yeah, it was a fun episode and a fun weekend, Mike. We went to Saugatuck, Michigan. We went to Lake Michigan yesterday. Had a nice beach day, which I love.
You guys go all over the place in Michigan. Sometimes you're in a Christmas village. Sometimes you're at the beach. Looks like you're in Germany. Sometimes Michigan and right. Sault Ste. Marie looks like Canada. Michigan has a lot. I mean, it's not just Tim Allen. Saying that.
It's a big state with beautiful lakes, right? I mean, we have the Great Lakes, but I'll tell you, and I don't know if you're like this in Missouri, but that's something we like to do every summer, right? Like spend a day in Mackinac Island or have a beach day at some point. And Mike, it is late July. And we were just like, oh my God, we haven't been to the beach yet this year. Like we have to do it. There's so many things going on in our lives. We just put everything on pause for a Saturday, right? And it's we're committing, we're going to go to the beach. And we didn't even know it until that morning. We didn't plan the day before or anything. We're just it's 9 a.m., which normally I would like to show up at 9 a.m., but we showed up later, which was kind of cool. I felt like the parking lots are kind of clearing out. People were kind of beached out at that point in the day. So it worked out for us, but it was a kind of a spur moment thing, but we had to do it. Do you have things like that you try to do every year? Maybe go to a cards game or something or.
We try. I mean, it's fluid with this was cheer camp week. So everything was on hold and the vacation and stuff. But I did tell Pam, I said, Scott's going to go somewhere this weekend because he got his new vlogging camera. So I said, it's he got the new toy. So they're going to go somewhere where he could record something fun. I was like, whether he's hanging out the car, on a skateboard on the back, I was like, he's going to record something cool. So they're going somewhere. Then I saw you're right on the beach. I was like, or on the lake. I was like, So I told you he's somewhere doing something cool. So anyway, we got our first call. So hang tight. First call of the night. Hey, who's joining us? Thanks for calling in tonight.
Hey, Mike. Hey, Scott. This is Patrick from Wisconsin.
Hey, well, hey, it's almost a Michigan takeover, but it's definitely an upper Midwest takeover tonight. What's up?
Not much. I was just wanting to add on to the Olympic event, the Making Disney Olympics. Had an idea because I'm a swimmer and I love the swimming events.
We didn't even get to bring that up yet, but hey, go for it. We'll give your event, then we'll kind of talk about where we're going to go with the show tonight.
Oh, I'm sorry. I could.
No, go ahead. No, we get talking and we're not professional here.
I love this. I love the strategy. Like we share what Patrick's idea is, and then we share what the episode's about. So I love it.
That's about how this show goes. We're already off the rails. Go ahead, Patrick.
I knew I needed to get on. Last time I tried to call and it just I waited just a little too long.
Oh, amen, dude. Thank you for not calling at 45 past the hour, because that's when all the calls come in. The show's over. I mean, this is how it's supposed to be. This is perfect. We love you. Thank you.
Okay. So with the new tiered system with lightning lane multipass, you could do like an individual medley a la swimming style, where you have to do one tier 1, one tier 2, and one tier 3 ride in the fastest time possible.
I like it.
And you could even make it the Magic Kingdom could be like the sprint race, because there's lots of options available. Epcot, you got to cover a little more ground, so that could be like your endurance race.
Oof. You've given this some thought. No, did you think about this today? Because I know you saved the show for your run today. I saw that on the clubhouse that you were holding back.
Absolutely, absolutely
gave you some time to consider these. Because I know, like when I'm on my runs, kind of the same thing. I'm always thinking about
the wife, and then she was like, Epcot, you'd actually be doing some real running if you wanted to.
That's exactly how it goes. I tell my wife, and she's like, she always makes it a little bit better. She's like, "Bud, if you did this," and I'm like, "Oh, you're a genius, perfect. That's a great idea. We need to make this happen."
I really like the idea. Yeah.
Thanks, Scott. I liked and you guys earlier. You were talking. You did the same thing. It was like synergy. The whole critter dive idea at the Crescent Lake pool, and then you guys turned it into adult award giveaway.
Sharks in the water, basically. Once you throw drink coupons into that pool, it'd be a bloody mess. It'd be every man or woman for themselves.
Yeah, I love these. I love the Disney Olympic ideas. That was a great idea by you guys.
But you would have all advantage. I mean, you say you're a former swimmer. I mean, sign you up. Like you would definitely get through the heats into the semis. I'd just pencil you straight to the final in that one. All right, Patrick, we appreciate your call. How are things up in Wisconsin this weekend?
Oh, they're doing pretty good. Summer's going good. Not too hot, not too cold. Wasn't until I got over to my sister's house and she's got the Hey Disney app on her Alexa, and you could listen to those soundscapes. And I immediately was taken back to like our trip, and we'd always listen to like a soundscape before we went to the park. And I was like, oh man, it was the first time since we've gotten back that I've been like, oh, I might need to go online and figure out when we're going again.
So let me ask you this. I just love questions like this because I like to hear what people say. If you could be one place right now at Walt Disney World, where would you be?
Oh, I love that question.
I love hearing what people say.
It'd probably be Magic Kingdom, but it might be I forget where the old Fountains of Nations were in Epcot, but I forget if they've renamed that space that they just redid. I didn't really spend a lot of time there the last time I was there, but I just love that whole architectural vibe that they're going with.
Nice. Yeah, it does have a new name, but I can't think of it either.
Where would you be, Mike?
Where would I be? See, it changes like from moment to moment. Right now, it's a Sunday night, like getting kind of wrapping up a weekend. I might be Geyser Point. Just kind of wrapping up a weekend. You know what? If the weather's nice, Geyser Point, maybe.
Yeah, I want to be outside, even though I know it's like blazing hot. Like it's still hot in Florida.
I'm pretending the weather's decent. I don't know.
I'm gonna pretend
decent weather
because we're making it all up anyway, right?
Let's
pretend the weather is nice. I'm gonna be at Baseline Tap House outside with a flight. Oh my God, Jared said the same thing as me at the same
We
time.
got a double. We got Jinx.
Dude, I promise you, I did not see Jared's comment as I was saying it, though I know he was thinking.
Came in at the exact same time that it came right out of your mouth. It was not tape delayed.
That's funny.
Yes. Well, that is awesome. Well, Patrick, hey, thanks for the call, buddy. Thanks for kicking things off tonight. See, the phones worked. You proved it. Wisconsin is in the house.
Thanks, guys. Thanks
Take
for
care.
the show.
Hey, we'll talk to you soon. Don't be a stranger.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
All right. See you later.
That'd be an interesting concept for like a long live show where you're like raising money for Give Kids the World. Like, let's get a call from every state. So once like,
oh my God,
like once someone call from Massachusetts, like we have to knock them off the board. So all those people have to stop dialing, right? And then we get someone from Delaware, and then all the Delaware people can stop.
You know how many people listen to this show in Michigan? We like Maggie. Boom, she'd be out. Like Jason,
Yeah.
We got 5 people in Michigan right now. Too.
Then we had to start pushing people. Like the time zones get tricky too. Like, all right, come on, someone from Hawaii, we need your call right now.
We need somebody from American Samoa.
It could be interesting, but then 50 calls is a lot of calls too, though. But
that is. But Kansas. Come on now. I'm just kidding.
You'd have to talk to someone from Kansas.
I'm just playing. I know football season's right around the corner.
It could be someone that migrated there, maybe they're
migrated. Okay, so what we're talking about, Patrick kind of alluded to it on Friday's show. If you haven't listened yet, in the spirit of the Olympics, we did a show on Friday and we talked about those events that are unofficial, but we've all endured at Walt Disney World. It should be Olympic style events, like chasing down a bus. When you come out of Pop Century, you see, oh my gosh, our bus is getting ready to leave. That bus driver revving up, and you send the kid that running, doing the sprint. It's a 50-yard dash. Try to hold that bus so that you don't miss it. Trying to get the rope drop at Animal Kingdom, something like that. Balancing trays. You talked. Patrick brought it up. An event where you're in the pool at Stormalong Bay. Everybody's kind of doing a scavenger hunt for prizes, things like that. So, and you know what? There was one I got to find in the Discord that Trisha had this afternoon. I got to find it. It was awesome. It was the churro relay. Here it is. She said, did we not forget about the churro relay? A team of 4 stationed throughout the Magic Kingdom with the start and finish at the train station. You have to pass off the churro baton to your teammates and still have an uneaten churro left at the end. Speed and self-restraint for this Olympic event. And I'm like, that's perfect. So you got to run all the way around the Magic Kingdom, passing off a churro. That's the baton. All the way around the Magic
Kingdom.
Kingdom.
Shape. It's perfect.
But it is. I mean, it's the baton. But I mean, think about it, because you have all the sugar on you, but you can't eat a little, I guess.
You'd be tempted to eat it.
But you got to have something left at the end to win. But see, I don't think I'd win because I'd probably eat that sucker.
I don't know, Mike. You are too competitive where I think your competitive side would force you not to eat it.
That is
just
true.
Knowing you a little bit.
I like to eat, but I like to win more. I do like to win.
That's why the Crystal Palace ice cream dash is like right up your alley too.
That's a good one too. I know that is a good, yes.
Because it's competitive eating. Do things you enjoy. And ice cream. You made a good point though. The ice cream headache, the brain freeze, man, is a serious issue.
That's painful. And John and Kristen Earl here in the live chat. They're tuned in over on Facebook. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Need a medal for getting registered for a Run Disney race lately. Well, first of all, we need to give Run Disney a medal if they can keep their website running during an event registration. Hopefully Tuesday that will happen because Princess comes back around. Isn't that Tuesday? I think it is this Tuesday, right?
I don't know.
It's close.
Because I want to do it, but like I'm on a break. But like I love Princess Weekend so much. So
yeah,
I don't know, Mike. Like, they're bringing me back in? Like I want to do it.
You said you were going to do it. I was like, I should do it, but then I'm doing marathon in Disneyland, and I think I'm hanging up the sneaks.
And I've been like so into cruising lately, as you know. Like I mean, cruise. Like I love cruising. Like, man, could I tie like a nice 3-nighter with like a Run Disney event? Like how awesome would that be? But I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna be down in February anyway, so I don't.
Are you? Well, for the cheer, right?
Cheer, probably.
When's that gonna be? I'm like, maybe I could time because I was thinking like I want to do like a January or February, maybe non-running long weekend. Like there's President's Weekend, there's MLK weekend, but I mean those are always busy times, right? So maybe one of those off ones too.
Yeah, we'll figure it out because the thing is, well, it's a whole big mess because there's a there's an all-star competition the week before nationals, and then there's some of the all-star girls, their coaches aren't letting them do both, and they got like 7 girls that can't do both. It's a thing.
Gotcha.
And then we have state, so we have regionals and state before nationals, and it's all like it's dominoes. And so we might have to pick if we want to go for state champions or national champions. And actually around here, state champions is more important than national. So that's what our AD wants. So I'm like, oh, but nationals, you get to go to Disney World.
I do gotta say, Rhonda Lee, she was talking about my 50 states thing. Like, definitely cannot forget about the international calls.
No.
We have such a huge reach with the international friends. So yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Rhonda Lee, come on now. Yeah, we need Canada for sure. And we provinces. I mean, that's what we're doing, you know.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, I don't know if we're gonna get somebody from the Northwest Territories. Now that'd be cool. I don't think I've ever talked to anybody in my life from the Northwest Territories. I've seen it like when it comes down on a pop, like on a drop down when I book stuff for Canadian friends.
Oh yeah.
I've never used it. Does anybody live there in the Northwest Territories? I've never used it like ever in my life in 10 years. I want somebody to book a trip that lives in the Northwest Territories. That'd be
Boom,
cool.
you're putting it out there right now.
Please.
So you can create one of your maps, like in your office. Like, I booked travel here. That'd be kind of cool. Actually.
I have booked, I mean, thousands of vacations. I think I booked like 6,000 Disney vacations at this trip. At this point in my life, I think, or something like that. I forgot what I like that. It's more than that. That's just the new system since we've had like in the last 5 years. But like if I had a map, it would be all over the place. But I've never
do that with like pen board, like all the places you book travel. It'd be kind of cool, actually.
But look, so Rhonda Lee knows somebody. She lady Northwest Territories. See, I just want to use that one time about. There's just
Rhonda Lee can hook you up with that person.
If you tell her she needs to go to Walt Disney World, Magic for Less.
And they're a teacher too, so you already got that connection.
Exactly. I just want to, I mean, just once in my life, I just want to select that little, that's how boring of a life I live. Like, some days I just look and I say, I just like to pick that someday.
So it sounds like we don't have any callers right now. So another event I was thinking about at Walt Disney World, and I'm thinking at Old Key West in particular, because I've used the facility here, but it's like a basketball, like a free throw shooting contest or something. I know it's not like super Disney related, but it's at a Disney resort. So you have the facilities, right? So why not have like a fun, like free throw shooting contest or a game of horse? Like, wouldn't that be funny? Like if horse was like an Olympic event,
but it would be mouse.
Oh yes, it would be mouse.
It have to be mouse.
Very good.
Yes. And yeah, but you gotta have some kind of Disney spin. So you got mouse, maybe Goofy's out there kind of throwing some like, playing a little defense.
Speaking of basketball and Walt Disney World, did you see that there might be a documentary coming out like from the NBA and how they did like the bubble for the NBA?
No way, that'd be super interesting because
I think they're making something like that, like for Netflix or something. Like, I would love to see that.
They should, because
I was there too. I was there during that. Remember, I saw the barbershop when I was at the
barbershop. And like, remember, we were riding the monorail, and I think Mallory saw
Chris Paul.
Chris Paul, the guy that was on Hey Jesse. Yeah, like there he is. We were looking down into
just how they set up that whole thing like would be really interesting to me, So not that we want to go back to the pandemic days and think that was a difficult time for the world, but that was kind of cool if you were a sports fan though, because you still got to have your basketball, and Walt Disney was a big part of that, so it was kind of cool. I think it'd be kind of a cool documentary.
I'd totally watch that because it was so, I mean, I don't want to I do not want to go back there, man. That's what I did was I booked travel and everything was closed.
Yeah.
It was the worst, but it was so wild, to go back and think, think about that. Like they took even as a Disney fan right now, we don't have a call right now. Again, if you want to call in and talk Disney, 407-413-9395. Another thing I want to talk about tonight is initial thoughts on the new Lightning Lane system, because we've had that rolled out now for a few days. And we've had people book lightning lanes. We've had people in the parks using lightning lanes. And I have some thoughts too from the clubhouse that people have been talking about. But back to the bubble thing. Think about that. Like they had NBA players staying, and wasn't it by like how good their teams were too? Like at either Yacht Club or Coronado Springs or Grand.
I don't know if there's any draw to that, but maybe. I don't know.
I thought that's how it was.
Because I think they wanted Coronado because like people checked out earlier, right? So if your team got eliminated, you left the resort. And I think Coronado was the one that was going to be there the longest. So they kind of put like teams that looked like they had a big record that were going to stick around for a long time at Coronado, so they didn't have to like check out of their rooms or something. I think that's kind of how they did it. Because I remember like Grand Floridian was like the first resort that
Yacht was
that
last.
moved, or Yacht, or yeah. I can't remember the order, but
Yacht
they were
was the
checking them
last
out. Though.
one. Yeah, Yacht was the one the NBA hung on to the longest because like
Okay.
you wanted Yacht, and
I thought it was Coronado for some reason, but
Was it?
I would believe you though.
I do remember though, like they had to move in like the extra long beds and stuff like that. Remember that? Like it was,
Oh, yeah.
like like when you look back on it, it's like, was that a fever dream? And it wasn't. It was weird. But there was
Insane.
a barber shop outside at the Grand Floridian.
The clip I saw though, like that teased the documentary, was like one of like those big conference rooms at either at Coronado or the Yacht Club, like in the conference center, with like practice basketball courts.
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
like,
100%,
it
yeah.
was so cool to see.
Coronado, like
Yeah.
yeah. I've seen that. Yeah, they said in that because it was it was one of those big banquet rooms,
And those rooms are huge at Coronado,
like a parquet floor. You know, like
right there.
It was nuts.
Could you imagine like walking through there? You're just hearing like the ball bouncing or the squeaky shoes constantly. Oh,
yeah. I mean, it was such a weird
time. Yeah,
it was such a weird,
but it was awesome when I was there because we were there during that time. I was talking about the barber shop. Like I remember walking through Galaxy's Edge and like looking up and seeing the Goodyear blimp, and I was just like, "Oh, that spaceship, is that canon for Star Wars?" You know, like I don't remember that ship, but it was so cool because you'd see the Goodyear blimp, you would see all the buses going around. You know, like these VIP buses. Like I was like, "Oh man, like the NBA players are on that bus." You know, they're going to Wide World of Sports right now.
Because there wasn't that many people there. I mean, it was
I know
for a while, wasn't even hardly there was
and the barbershop though, overhearing them like talking in the barbershop when I was outside at Grand Floridian was so cool.
Oh my gosh. All right, we have a next call. I believe it is Vero Mike from Vero Beach, Florida. What's up, Mike?
What? Hey guys, hey Scotty, hey Mike, how you doing?
Doing great. How you doing, buddy?
Doing great. Just listening to the show. I thought I'd call in, and I heard you guys talking about the run, the Princess Run in February, and I'm going to be registering for the challenge, the 10K and the half. So I'm crossing my fingers. Hopefully, I can get into it.
You know what we've noticed lately is that the challenges are kind of the easier things to get in over the past couple of times. It's usually the shorter races, I think, that are selling out more quickly. So I think hopefully luck will be on your side on Tuesday.
Yeah, I hope so. My wife's in the club, so she's already in the challenge. So if I don't get the challenge, I'd like to do the half. So getting ready for it. And we're getting ready for the one in November. We're doing a half marathon.
Very nice. Wine and dine. I love there's an extra value piece to wine and dine. I think that gets overlooked because you get that party ticket, which I think is always awesome. Like I love going to the party. I miss it being the same when it was a night race and then you went straight to the party, but I think it's a cool perk. When you think about cost for a Run Disney event, you actually get like a theme park ticket with the wine and dine, which is kind of cool when you think about it.
Yeah, I don't think we're not going to be doing that. It's going to be we've got 2 nights in Saratoga for it, so I'm not quite sure if we're going to do that. So like this time, I plan on resting before the half. So I'm, the last one I did, I went hard in the park the day before, and I definitely paid for it.
Oh. Cool. I love those. I love the princess themes. That's my favorite weekend, and I love the characters and the themes that they have for this year. So little jealous. Who knows? Maybe I'll be out there on Tuesday looking at it. You never know.
I've been training, and I'll tell you what, it's been really. I mean, obviously it's hot in Florida, but the runs have just been. Whew, boy, it's humid in the morning here early.
I do not know how people train in Florida outside. I mean, if there was ever a place that the treadmill was invented for, it is Florida. There's no way.
I just can't do the treadmill. I got to be out there, running around, just kind of,
I don't care how boring it is. The humidity, man. Man. And when I walk the dog, I'm like, "Ooh, man, Riley, are we going to make it around this lake one time? Can you just get busy and let's go? Let's get back inside."
I did a long run last week through the island of Palm Beach. It was absolutely beautiful. I got out really early and got to run by all the big mansions, and the beach. So that was a pretty fun little run.
Tougher than us.
So,
for sure.
Floridians are built differently, I guess.
Yeah. And another thing about Disney, we're getting ready. I'm getting really, really stoked on the D23. I've been kind of not obsessing over it, but like wondering what Walt Disney World is gonna announce. Maybe something more information on the new Dinoland, area or beyond Thunder Mountain. So there's been so much speculation. So I'm pretty pumped for that.
Yeah, me too. I'm very excited about that.
So, I mean, do you think finally, like, they'll give us some meat on the bone at D23, or do you think it'll be more I think a lot of times
Everyone-
with D23, it's not like a lot of details, right? It's a lot of, this could be,
Vagueness.
this might be, this possibly will be, it's a lot of like, it leaves a lot of wiggle room. But I mean, could they give us like, by 2026, you will have X, Y, and Z, and like really kind of maybe give us a timeline and give us, this is what, X, Y, and Z are going to be in place in this park. Do you think we might get that?
I hope so, because they're making that whole area for construction. So I think it's going to happen. I really just want to get on Dinosaur one last time before it closes. That's my mission right now.
I'm a dinosaur fan. I mean, maybe it's because like I liked it from back in the day when it was still Countdown to Extinction, way back when it opened. I mean,
yeah,
I know a lot of people are down on it, but I like it. It's not as good as Indiana Jones. Since I went to Disneyland, I see why people like that better. That's a way better attraction, but it's a decent attraction. It's not as bad as, I mean, people dog on it all the time. I think it's not that bad.
Yeah, we love it. So yeah.
All
Awesome,
right.
guys. Yeah, great listening to you guys. And I've been watching your vlog, Scotty, on England. Really, really cool.
I appreciate them. I've been watching yours too. Like you've been posting a lot of shorts and all that lately. So that's fun
Yeah,
to
I've
watch.
been doing a lot of shorts. We got a chance to go to Disney World this past weekend, and they did the when we were there, they were doing a turtle release. So they had the whole film crew there, and they're releasing a sea turtle into the ocean with the what do you call it, the tracking device on it.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a ton of sea turtle nesting areas all up and down the beach right now. So that was pretty cool to see that at the resort.
Yeah, I think I think they did a blog post or something about that, and I posted it in the clubhouse in the DVC section there, so people could check that out.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, stoked on that.
Cool. Yeah, but thanks for liking and subscribing to the channel. That means a lot. I know you're a fellow YouTuber, so you know all about that, but appreciate you watching the videos. There's a lot more content I have that's ready to come. So
I know it's addictive. It's totally addictive when you do, and you got the new camera, and it's a lot of fun.
I said, look out, Scotty's going to be doing fun stuff. He's got a new camera. Look out.
Yeah.
I know I just booked a Labor Day weekend trip for Tennessee. So gonna, now that Must Be Adventures, we got adventure places. So like, where can we go that we haven't been yet to do some videos? So watch out for some.
You going to Pigeon Forge?
No, we're actually going to like Nashville area, like kind of like near our office. But Franklin is such a cute town. It's like one of the most historic downtowns in the state. So we're going to do some stuff there and got to go to Broadway and Nashville and all that stuff too. So it'll be a fun weekend. It's only for a few nights, but it'll be good.
Mallory will be so jealous. She wants to go to Nashville so bad.
Well, maybe I'll get her some boots when I'm there.
We don't have football. I think we got football that weekend. Dang. Let's say we meet you. We'll have to meet you for a couple days. So we'll see. All right. Well, hey, Mike, appreciate it, buddy. And good luck on Tuesday. May the Run Disney fairies and gods be with you. Get in those races.
Yeah, I'm ready. I really want to do it. So thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you. All right.
We'll talk to you soon, buddy. You take care. Thanks for calling.
All
right. See you later. Bye-bye. All right.
The lightning lane. So you want to talk about that a little bit too? Like that just got released. I mean, for a whole week.
Because Cody's been posting a lot about it. Let me move us over to this one. I got too many windows going. He's been posting. I mean, Cody, he's actually from here in St. Louis. He's really into like strategies and maximizing. He's also into travel hacking with like credit cards and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't even understand what he posts with that stuff. I mean, he gets free vacations by the time he figures out how to get travel points and all that. I'm not smart enough for that stuff. But everybody's talking about like their firsthand experiences in the clubhouse with like booking lightning lanes and stuff like that. And he had a post this morning and also the hairbrush saga, which Julie in Scotland was going through. That was kind of fun this week. But here's one of the things he said. This real quick. This is like from this morning that I think this is important that we could talk about. He said he tested some stuff out the past few days and he had a couple of notes. One, getting the first tap in for the day is very important. So when you go in and you have your 3 selections for the day, he said getting that first tap in is very important. He said currently you can only pre-book one park and it's restricted to tiers. But once you tap in for the first time, all your restrictions are lifted. So once you tap in for the first time, you can book a new one at any park and at any tier. You can also modify your other 2 that are pre-booked to any tier at any park. So he suggests getting one as early as possible, even if it's a low weight ride, just so you can lift the restrictions.
Makes sense.
I think
Yeah,
that sounds like the biggest hack of all. I mean, I've been going through all the notes, but that seems like the biggest one that I saw.
Especially if you're like a park hoppers, like we like to do, right? Like, I want to go to Magic Kingdom in the morning, but end my day at Hollywood Studios, like I want to get that tap so I can book something at the studios later that night. I love that idea.
Yeah, know. So what are you seeing though? I mean, I just want to put that out there. So maybe if people hear it on Thursday or tonight as you're listening live, that if you're using the system right away, you could at least think about that. I don't know if that's 100% true, but Cody, I trust, and he's been on this all week. So I'm thinking that is probably true.
Yeah. I mean, I'm hearing some of the big ticket items are going quick too, right? Like we talked about that in the clubhouse, the Slinky Dog. It's just, I mean, right as soon as you can book, boom, like it's like 4 or 5 o'clock. It's like the earliest you can book that one. So, and that doesn't surprise me, right? Those big ticket items are going to be like that. So that really hasn't changed much, in my opinion, from the previous system.
What I'm also seeing too is the people are saying like the availability, like people that book the multi, I gotta get it right. Is the multi-day lightning lane? I gotta get it right. The lightning lane multi-pass or whatever. And I got the term right, but the multi-day one, the multi-park. So anyway, the one that's multi, they're saying that with the bigger attractions, there's availability, but it seems like when you go for like the higher tier things, like it's always later in the day immediately. Like you said, with, like that stuff, it's like the first one you'll see, it'll be like 6:30 or 7 o'clock in the evening, even early in the day. So it really kind of screws with your plans because, you don't want them early in the day because a lot of people aren't even, you don't need lightning lanes at 9 o'clock in the morning. I mean, we see this, like we use Genie Plus, or we used to use Genie Plus. Well, we still do because they still have it at Disneyland. When we're at Disneyland, we don't use Genie Plus until like 11 o'clock because you're walking on everything or minimal weights until about 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock, you're stacking them until then. So you're kind of stacking them till then. But like, the thing is, you don't want to, because it's no sense in kind of using all that wasted energy and booking things when you're just walking onto attractions. But you also want to kind of hit that sweet spot at 11, 12, 1. But when you're seeing, wait time or first availability being like 6:30 or 7 o'clock at night, that's kind of a bad thing too, because you need to use it in your prime time, which is like 2, 3, 4, 5.
Sure. But that was my old strategy though, Mike, back in the day. Like when we had the Fast Pass Plus, you booked that 60 days, you booked 3 of them for free, included in the price of your vacation. That was always typically my strategy. Like I would rope drop Magic Kingdom, but then I would book my Epcot passes for later that night, for like after dinner, like 6, 7, 8 o'clock, so that I knew I had something reserved for later at night. You know what I mean? So depends on how you look at your day. Maybe that might work, possibly.
It might,
but then you're not taking advantage of like getting those 4th, 5th, 6th attractions in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the rolling one.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's exactly kind of how you want to use it, right? It went into effect on the 24th. That was Wednesday. Today's Sunday. So this whole new system has been rolling out for like 4 or 5 days. But what a lot of people are saying is, back in the Fast Pass Plus days, towards the end, there wasn't a lot of kind of tier 1 availability for folks. Yeah. And we're seeing the same thing. I mean, there's some, but what they're doing is they're choking it out by making it like the tier 1 availability is like 7 o'clock at night immediately, which, I mean, think about it though. I mean, maybe that is the true availability, but it's not. The parks don't seem crazy crowded right now. And it's not like this availability is for 6 months down the line. This availability is for next week. It's 7 days. I don't know, because I'm not a stats person. Like, I'm not into stats, but
that's where you got Cody. Cody can get you those stats.
Yeah, Cody's more into this. I'm just trying to think about it. But
I thought there was an interesting comment today where I can't remember who they were, so I apologize for that. But they booked a Dumbo Fast Pass, and Dumbo was down. And they didn't get like the option to do like a barnstormer or like an alternate attraction. And that's how it used to be, right? So if your window was 4 to 5 and the attraction you booked is down, you can do another ride. And sometimes they'd be limited, like you can't do Peter Pan or Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, things like that. But they didn't have that option. So I thought that was kind of interesting. I don't know if that's a glitch in the system. I think that same person brought up maybe they have to wait till the window is completely over because Dumbo could come back up at like 4:45, right? Which is still technically in your window. So maybe that's what it is. I'm curious, like how that's going to play out because attractions go down, right?
Yeah, well, that was Jamie over in the clubhouse and saying, they were down there today. There was weather, so all the outdoor attractions, boom, like you said, like Dumbo, out closed. She had she had a lightning lane, and so in the past, what would happen is everybody that had that Genie Plus selection, that lightning lane selection, you all of a sudden got this MEP, which was the multi experience pass. You would just see automatically on the app, you can redeem this lightning lane for anything in the park, basically, except for like the headliners, like you said. And it was just like the golden ticket. And so what we all got used to doing, right? I mean, you knew everybody did this, right? Everybody listens to the show. If you knew like bad weather was coming, if you saw a storm coming on, you would book a lightning lane for an outdoor pass and hope that, it would go down. And then you could reuse it again for something better. You know what I'm saying? Like you could reuse it for Space Mountain or something eventually. And apparently this did not work for this system. I don't know. I don't think we ever got a resolution in the
I don't think we did. No,
because nobody has come back to say, let's see, maybe reception. Yeah. Jamie has not said
the system is just too new to really know yet. Well, like how that's going to be handled.
Yeah. But, I mean, but, we're kind of coming up with like how we think it should work. Like, they should at least like give you a notification, like a push notification saying, look, this is closed. Can we give you an alternate time later? But I mean, Disney doesn't know, like, is the storm going to last 30 minutes? Is the storm going to last 3 hours? Do you have dinner in 3 hours, at Crystal Palace? There's so many variables that I think that is the beauty of that multi-experience pass that they gave you, because it gave you ultimate flexibility, like you could use that for the rest of the day on anything. Okay, here's my question to you, Scott. Let's think about it from Disney's point of view and from the guest point of view. Yes, we used it to our advantage, right? I mean, we would do this to game the system, right? We'd be like, okay, it's looking like it's going to storm. Let's book let's grab something that's outside. Let's get a Big Thunder. Even though we probably didn't want to ride Big Thunder, maybe I want to ride Space Mountain, which is inside. I'd book one so that I could bank a multi-experience pass. We all did that. I mean, it was just part of the deal. But what's the cost to Disney and the system overall if you do that? Like if everybody
the cost is some attractions like Space Mountain in this example is just going to get overbooked. It's going to get busy because they've already sold all those lightning lanes for the day, right? So their 6 to 7 time slot is fully booked. So they know where
everybody's going there still. Yeah.
They know where their capacity limit is. And say if Big Thunder, Dumbo, and another, say Barnstormer all like are down. I mean, not everyone is going to go to the same attraction. Not everyone's going to go to Space Mountain. They could go to Haunted Mansion or something else. But then it just overloads that one attraction. Then that brings like a poor guest experience, right? If someone is in standby, they get there and it says 45 minutes. And then you got all these lightning lanes coming in from 3 different attractions that shut down. And their wait ends up being like an hour and a half or something. It just makes people a little upset. So I think that's what the big thing they could lose from, right? It's just like overcrowding a certain attraction. Because I think the whole point of this system in a certain way is just to spread people out in the park, right? So that everyone's in the same spot at the same time.
That totally makes sense, right? Because that's exactly right. You're right, because they've already sold Space Mountain to the, what they're guessing is capacity, like 6 to 7. Then everybody goes there with the MEP passes, the multi-experience. You're right.
Most people could spread out too, but like if it's happening at that moment in time, they probably will we want to ride something now. The weather's bad. Let's get indoors somewhere, right?
Right. Well, I mean, if you think about it, especially a place like the Magic Kingdom, I guess at least 50% of the attractions are outside. Mm-hmm. So then you got like, double the capacity going into half the attractions. No, I didn't think about it that way. Yeah, that is a problem. But I mean, do half the people end up leaving, or this is the kind of thing you'd have to know, like the trends for how crowds react to stormy weather, or even not even stormy weather, but rainy weather. Like,
well, it could always be mechanical issues too. Like just something is down. It could be a nice day and a couple of attractions could potentially go down, right? So
I'm trying to think like what would be fair though. I mean, because you paid for the lightning lane. I mean, you
have to get reimbursed in some way with another lightning lane, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But then like I feel like they can't choose it for you. They can't be like automatically say, okay, we're putting pirates instead of Dumbo now. Because like, what if someone in your family like has a fear of pirates? You know what I mean? Like, it's not. I mean, it's not fair, right? Like, or what if you already did pirates like 2 times today or something?
Yeah, that's true too.
So they can't put like a specific, because there's height requirements in certain attractions, things like that. So like they have to give you like that, the golden ticket or whatever. Like there's just a free ride. But then like the problem is like, what if everyone picks the same attraction to go to? You know, then
It's a tough call.
it creates like a guest relations kind of issue, I think, potentially.
And Nicole's got another question, which we're going to talk about in a second, but we got a call. So let's get to our caller. We've been waiting patiently. Caller, hey, who's joining us?
Hey, Mike and Scott. This is Ian from Pittsburgh. How are you?
Hey, Ian.
Hey, Ian.
Thanks so much for commenting on my post this morning that you were happy that I walked outside. I decided to go outside.
Dude, it felt so good to see you outside, man.
I decided,
I do worry about your vitamin D levels a little bit.
I no, honest to God, went to the doctor, got some blood work done, and I was low in vitamin D. So there you go. I'm working.
Well, maybe you're safer running on the. I was running on my trail today, doing some training for the Dopey Challenge, and I fell. And this is the second time I've fallen in the last few years. So I'm a little sore today. So maybe the treadmill is safer.
Well.
But I just can't do it.
Well,
I don't like the treadmill.
I'm thinking of you, Ian, but I'll tell you what, man, I fell on my treadmill and got bent up like a pretzel between the wall and my treadmill and got ground down by the belt by the time I could reach the kill switch, and ended up with a staph infection from the burn I got from the stupid thing. So they're no more safer. I'm telling you, the best thing, we don't run. No, just kidding. No, we just we're just dumb. We're gonna have pain. That's just we're dumb, and we're gonna get through this, and we're gonna have fun.
It's just gonna happen, right? So it's all baked into the cake. You know, if you're gonna run, you're gonna get injured. And it's all part of it.
Have you not watched these Olympians? They have blood running down their legs. They have bruises. I mean, we're fine. Right. We're finely tuned athletes. That's what we are. Yeah, right.
For those listening, Mike's straw is like making like a crazy noise every time you do that. No.
Okay,
I just know you're an audio guy, so just people are going to hear that in the feed.
True, I am an audio, and let me just real quick. I got a beef about. I got this Stanley Cup from my daughters for Christmas. Okay, now.
Oh,
okay, because they all have to have.
Gave me a Stanley Cup.
Okay, so they all have to have Stanleys, right? So I decorated Howl on the one side, Mizzou on the other, right? So I use this all the time. I got a beef about this. It is so good that I put ice in it, and then I put iced tea in it. By the time I pour my iced tea into this dang thing, it freezes so hard in the 5 seconds before I put my iced tea in that it turns into like a glacier on here. In here, it's so cold that I can't even get my straw into the thing. And so I can never get my straw to even go down in the thing. So I'm constantly with this Stanley Cup going,
maybe less ice.
And I didn't maybe. And I didn't realize I was doing it. I'm fighting this thing all the time.
I don't like my water that cold.
Oh, I'm always banging. And I didn't even realize I was doing it, Scott. I apologize. But I didn't even realize because I'm always just banging the straw down to try to get to the liquid in the stupid thing because like it just freezes like a glacier.
And it was fine with me. I just know your audio. Like I know how you feel. So
I see it on the register now that I'm looking over.
It's gonna pick up the
Ian, so we've hurt you twice now. You fell running, and now we've hurt you terribly by our terrible comments. What's going on out in Pennsylvania?
Okay. No, I just got back from a cruise on the Magic. Nice. And I love hearing about your cruises, both of you guys. And so I was just hoping we could talk a little cruise talk. And I will say that I ran on deck 4, and every time I try to run, they were always mooring the deck, whatever that means. I guess that's because they were coming into port or something. So there was one day I tried to run on the treadmill, but we were pulling into port at Nassau. So like the ship did almost like it did like a 180-degree turn. So I got a little bit motion sick on the treadmill because I was watching the whole time it was turning. So that was an interesting experience, but I did try to run every day while I was on the cruise, and it was great. But I did go to Lookout Key too. So I know Pam went, but if you want to hear anything about that, I am happy to talk about it.
Oh, I do, because we're going there with the podcast cruise July 6th to the 11th on the Magic, which I haven't been on the Magic since 1998.
I love the Magic. And so my friend Julie, who you booked a cruise for her, and she's going like next week. She's going on the Fantasy. And so Julie and I are thinking, because her daughter and my son are friends, and they're both 16, they're Mallory's age. And she's like, we should do the podcast cruise because we both listen. And so we're thinking about booking that itinerary next year. She's like, well, you just did that itinerary. And I said, well, we'll do it again. Nice. Because it was great. We absolutely loved it.
So tell us, you got your, well, okay. So first of all, Lookout Key. I mean, I can't wait to go there.
Yeah.
I don't know what to expect though, because I have been to Castaway Key so many times, and I do like Castaway Key a lot. I love it, but I am looking for something new. So what is, tell us the perspective for somebody that's been to Castaway Key a bunch of times. What's the Venn diagram?
We went with a group of 25 people, which we've never done before. I went with a bunch of Plan Disney friends and their families. So it was great because my son had friends to hang out, had kids to hang out with. And so we booked for Castaway. It was our second day on, we boarded on, it was a Monday. And so Tuesday morning we get off and we go to Castaway. And it was great because we took our time and didn't have to rush to get chairs because we had a grand cabana. And that was really, really spectacular.
Nice.
But Castaway is like a sheltered lagoon. So the water's just, as you know, it's really calm. And we did some snorkeling, but you're never like, waves aren't even an issue. And the water's nice. I mean, it's very clear, but it's not like you look at it and you're like, oh, wow, this is the most beautiful water I've ever seen. But it is clear and it's very nice. And we love Castaway. So that was a great day. So I think we went to Lookout on day 4. We had a day in between, and it kind of ruined all of us. My son's like, because we go to Hilton Head, South Carolina a lot, and he's like, I don't want to even go back there anymore because I just want to go to Lookout Key. It's going to ruin you for any other beach because you get out there, and we didn't have a cabana, so we ran out early to try to get a spot, and we got some chairs with umbrellas. So I know a lot of people complain that there wasn't much shade, but if you get some chairs with an umbrella, it seemed fine. And honestly, we just spent the whole time in the water. The water is more like a regular ocean, so it's going to have some waves, but it's just, it's like crystal clear.
Oh.
My son calls it, he says it looks like blue Gatorade. So it's just like this clear electric blue, and it's just, sometimes, like when we go to Hilton Head, I'm a little worried. Like you don't know what's lurking in the water, but this you could see anything. So there was some fish and stuff around, but nothing too terribly scary. And the sand is just, they say it's pink. I didn't really see that, but it's probably the softest sand you'll ever feel. It's just, the whole experience there is just amazing. And as nice as Castaway is, I think this is better in my perspective.
And it seems too, from just the media coverage, and of course Pam Forrester's been there a couple times and reported on it and stuff. And it seems like they've taken the food offerings and stuff like, of course, the first couple sailings, they're having some issues with, just a couple things like logistical things, but it seems like they've upped the game as far as service and quality and variety, and just even the infrastructure on the island. It looks more kind of more permanent, you know what I'm saying? Just, it looks more up to date, looks more nice. It just looks nicer. It's 25 years later,
That's a great way to put it. It's so nice because they had like all this fresh landscaping, which is really nice. But when that kind of grows in, I think it'll look even better. They don't have the 5K there yet. So they said that's coming. But as far as the food goes, they have the different food stalls. So you could kind of stand in line for, I got a spicy chicken sandwich, and it was very, very
That's why you go to Disney.
I missed that. It was on Castaway Key so much.
I know.
So glad to hear that they still have them somewhere.
Yeah. Got to go look out.
Yeah. So I thought the food was pretty good. And, I had seen some YouTube videos right at the beginning where their flies were an issue, but they have these little tiny fans that are on each table now. And, I might have seen 2 or 3 flies, but it wasn't like it was an issue where it was earlier. So I felt like the whole day was so spectacular. And the thing was that the Tangled show is really good on the ship, and I didn't want to miss it. So I did want to get back on the ship and get showered and everything so I could see the show, because we had the late seating for dinner. So we saw the show first, but otherwise I would have closed down the island.
Yeah.
I didn't want to get back on the ship.
So I'm super excited to hear that, because that's one of the variables that I don't have any knowledge of, is obviously Lookout Key. I've never been there. So that'll be something new. Again, like I said, haven't been on the Magic since its inaugural, when it was the only ship, 98, when Disney Cruise Line first launched. And it was a way different, obviously it was a total different ship back then. We're doing late seating for the very first time this time around. I thought we'd switch it up. We've never done that.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I'm like you. Well, I'm like you. So I like to eat early
I do
because
too.
I go to bed early, and I don't want to be, like, I hate eating late because then you're digesting your food and you can't, I have trouble going to sleep. So, but I kind of went with the group, and the group decision was, we want to do late seating. So I was like, all right, I'll try to be flexible about that. My family kind of joked with me because they know that I really hate that, but it ended up working okay. It's a whole different schedule than I'm used to. So we would go in at 8:15 and we wouldn't get our food till like maybe 8:45. So we would be finishing. And of course, we had a large group, so it took a little longer, but we probably didn't finish till close to 10, like 9:45. And normally I'm in bed by that point. So my whole schedule when I got back, we just got back like a week ago, but it took me like a whole week to readjust back to my regular schedule. But it's nice because we could go to the early show, and it bought us a little bit of time, like coming back from the island. Yep. I think, we didn't have to rush right off to dinner. So that did buy us a little bit of time, but you're still trying to shower and get ready for the show if you want to do that. Yeah.
And we will want to see, because we really did enjoy the shows on the Fantasy. We enjoyed Aladdin. We enjoyed Frozen. We enjoyed Believe.
Yeah.
The girls really like that. I'm excited though, because I've been on a classic ship since Mallory was like 7. We were on the Wonder.
I think you'll like it.
Yeah, I do too. I'm excited. Entangled is such a
Mallory loves smaller too. Yeah, the Tangled show is my favorite. But I think having a smaller ship is also great when you go to the islands because there's less people to compete with for chairs and stuff. So I liked that aspect of it. Just had a smaller footprint, and it was a 5-day cruise, so I shouldn't say only, but it probably took me still 4 days to figure out the layout. So it still felt big enough. It wasn't like, it didn't feel super small to me, but I just think as far as, when you go to Castaway or Lookout Key, there's going to be a difference of a few hundred people. So, I think less people makes it a better experience on the islands.
That's a good point. I didn't even think about that. That's a huge point. Yeah. You're less people competing for beach chairs, less people in line in front of you for food at, cookies at Castaway. And so for Scott, you have any thoughts on this? Cause that's the itinerary we're doing for the podcast cruise.
My thought was I love second dining. We did it once. It was that Memorial Day weekend cruise we booked, Mike, a couple of years ago. Cause we booked like 2 days before. So that was like,
great.
So that was like the only option was second dining. And I absolutely loved it because I hate feeling rushed for dinner. So, cause I'm a get off the ship kind of guy, enjoy your day, like I don't tend to eat early either. Like I normally eat after the show is done on Sunday nights, So like I just love second dining, and it's less crowded, it feels like too. So it's less chaotic in there too.
Yeah,
so
it was less crowded. And we had such a big group with us that it was probably better we did second dining because we were kind of a spectacle in the dining room. Not like in a bad way, but we're such a big group. But so we had like an adult table and then we had a kid table. So like everybody kind of noticed that.
Love
it. So it was probably better to go to the second dining.
And that's how we'll be too, because we're going to have a group too. So it just makes it easier with a group. If you're trying to get that many people together on first dining, it becomes a huge challenge. And so
it's an issue.
That's why we're just going to second makes it easier. And also, like you said, it becomes like an issue for sail away too, right? Like on that first, with it only, I say only, but with being a 5-day cruise, you want to maximize every single moment for everybody. And it's sail away. If you're on first dining, you're really, really rushing to get to dinner that first night. You might not even get to see Jetty Park. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you're trying to get to dinner.
Yeah.
And like, especially if you're a first time cruiser.
Fort Lauderdale. So I don't know if that's where the podcast cruise will sail out of, but I've never sailed out of. It's called Port Everglades. Yep. So it was kind of cool watching, like pulling out of there. We stayed on deck for a while watching because it was just a different port for us. And I liked that.
Yeah, I want to sail out of it. We're sailing out of Canaveral because that's why I picked it too, because I thought a lot of people would still want to go to the parks, and it makes it easy to combine like a, Disney trip before or after, to Walt Disney World. But you know, we have a lot of first time cruisers that are already booked. And the thing is, like, I want them to be able to see like Jetty Park and have you've probably seen it, you know, the experience of like everybody waving to you there from the RVs and, you know, the ship plays its horns as you're leaving. Everybody gets a kick out of that. I mean, that's, you know, if you've sailed a bunch of times, you might be like, let's just go to dinner. You know, it's not a big deal, but like, that's cool. Like watching,
I like
and like seeing the Space Center on the other side as you go out. We have a family that are huge space fans. Like you know, if we're on first dining, they're going to be rushed and they're going to be worried about getting to dining. Like I want them to be able to chill, you know, watch us go out to sea. Then we'll get to dinner and we'll get the trip going. You know, I'm trying to think of it. It's really hard when you have a group, right? You're trying to make it work out for it. Cause like second dining is not great for me. I'm like you, I eat at 4:00, but we can make it, you know, the thing is you're not going to starve on a cruise ship. There's food everywhere all the time. Like you're going to be fine.
Oh no.
So
It's fine. Oh yeah. And I want to tell Scott too that, my husband, he doesn't know a whole lot about bourbon, but he's trying to learn about it. He wants to learn about it. So some of the guys that were in our group, they were, you know, husbands of some panelists, and they were like, we're going to go do a bourbon tasting. So they did go, it was, I think, in Cove Cafe, and it was after dinner. So it started like, I don't know, it was on Pirate Night when we were all on deck watching the fireworks. It started like at 10:30. And my husband's like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be drinking hard liquor at 10:30. So I, of course, after the fireworks, I went to bed. And but he had the best time. So they went and learned about bourbon and which ones he got to taste and decided which ones he liked the best. And then one of the guys was like, well, we need to go have an old fashioned, because all they were doing was tasting bourbon. So they went to one of the bars and then ordered old fashions. So he didn't come back until 1:15 in the morning. And we had Palo brunch the next day. So I was like, I hope you got good sleep because you have to go eat now.
That's so great. That's all. Sounds like he had a good time. Is that right, Ian?
That's cruising at his best right there. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, he isn't going anywhere. He's on the ship, you know.
Well, it reminds me of our last podcast cruise on the Wish, Mike, where on the last night, a bunch of us went to Cove Cafe to do an old fashioned tasting. And that was like at 10 o'clock, 10:30 as well, if I recall.
I think it started at 10:30 in Cove Cafe the last night of our cruise. It was so good. It was so good.
I know. And I know for you, Mike, that's hard to think like, oh my gosh, I'm going to go drink. And I'm normally, you know, you've probably been in bed for an hour. At that point.
Well, so, it was hard until the second old fashioned. Then I was good. You know, it was and the one I swear, Scott, you remember the one tasted just like Christmas. I don't know.
Yeah,
like, it smelled like Christmas. It tasted like it did. It had like a cinnamon stick in it. I was like,
he fibs a little bit though. He was energetic from the start. He had his people with him. You know, Mike was.
I'm like a kid in the candy store on these podcast cruises. Like I'm with the people I love. I'm on a cruise ship. I mean, like I'm away from like you can't. It doesn't get any better. Life's so good. So yeah, you know.
Well, then I think I booked a bounce or whatever you call it.
Placeholder
cruise.
Yeah, placeholder.
While I was on board, and so when my friend Julie, when she goes, she says you've been a great travel agent for her, by the way.
No,
so when she goes next week, she's going to book her placeholder, and I think we're going to have to do the podcast cruise because it sounds like it's going to be a blast.
Let's make it happen. Hey, Mike Bankhead's sailing with us, so we're going to have a good time.
Oh, that'll be nice. I've met him at Marathon Weekend, and he's a Clemson fan, so I really like him.
And he's a Clemson fan. I like how he qualified. I like how he qualified it by, and he's a Clemson fan. Like,
well, I know before we went to the corral, you and I and Mike were talking about which team has the best tiger mascot, and of course you were like, "Oh, Truman's the best."
Yeah, Truman for sure.
And we were like, "Not Truman." You kind of got annoyed about that. That I said not Truman.
Oh no,
it's Paws, the Detroit Tiger mascot.
Paws. Oh no, it's Truman for sure. I think
the Aubie, the Auburn Tiger, is the best.
No. All the other ones look like they came from Party City. I mean, come on now, let's get real.
The Clemson Tiger is kind of scary.
Yeah, he is. I'll agree with you there.
We delved in. We always go back to college football.
Right. I love Mike Bankhead, but that thing looks like it came from Party City. I'm just saying.
It does.
Anyway, I don't want to offend anybody else. I almost made it all the way through a show without offending a fan base, and I got off the rails there. So there we go. Sorry, Clemson's good. Hey, Clemson seems like a good, wholesome place to be. Clemson, South Carolina. So there you go.
It is. It was great for my son. It was great.
So look, you're part of the family. I didn't even know that. Look at that. I didn't know you had like a Clemson alum. Look, you're part of the deal. Nice.
He just graduated, so he's officially a Clemson alum. I'm not paying that tuition anymore, so that's even better.
we're trying not to pay. Hopefully we have daughters that hopefully they have good enough grades. We won't have to pay too much. I think that's Scott and I's
That's
plan.
right.
I hope.
That's right.
Oh, I don't want to think
Well,
about
if we
it.
book the podcast cruise, I'm going to call in again and let you guys know.
Please do.
Because I think we're going to have to book, and we'll book through you. So, you
Yeah.
can be our travel agent.
Yes.
And I think that'll be a lot of fun.
We'll have a blast. I promise you that. We'll have fun.
Oh, I know we will.
All right. Well, hey, Ian, thanks for the call. And we are going to have fun next July, it sounds like. On the
I love
Magic. And you can let us know everything we're going to get ready to do at Lookout Key.
Right.
All right.
Oh, I will. Just wear your sunscreen and, be ready to spend the whole day in the water. It's awesome.
Hey, that's my plan. I'm good. All right. We'll talk to you next. Hey, don't be a stranger, and have a good one out in Pittsburgh.
All right. You guys too.
All right. See you later.
Yeah. See you.
Bye.
I will say though, to the mascot thing, Sparty is consistently ranked in the nation as the best mascot.
He's always up. And I mean, Wade's here. Of course, Wade's here with Herbie the Husker. Now I do like the Husker guy that's like the inflatable that can like, have you ever seen that thing? Like he'll stand on his head, like he'll flip over, like while he's standing. So he does his like move. He's inflatable, but like he can flip over, like totally, like while he's standing. It's hard to describe. You got to see the video. Like he's standing upright, but then all of a sudden he's upside down. I don't know how it works, but that's a sweet move. Even if it is a Cornhusker, it is. I don't know if that's Herbie, but he's a Husker guy on the inflatable sidelines. Anyway, all right. Well, hey Scott, that was a fun one.
Fun episode, man. I always love these Sunday nights. These are great.
That was kind of wild, but yeah. So we'll do it again next Sunday night. I may be flying solo, but Scott may be checking in. Scott will be here, but maybe he'll be mobile next week because he might be doing some Uber running.
Yes, I had to pick up my dad from the airport. I think his pickup time is 7:15, so maybe I can dial in for the first part of this show from the road. It'd be kind of nice.
We could do that.
Or from the cell lot. I'll probably just be sitting idle waiting for his plane and all that.
Yeah, give us the Detroit airport.
Detroit, yeah.
We could talk about because you probably got like 747s coming in, all kinds of little red. Oh, yeah. Over there, it's like Animal Kingdom. Little red.
There.
Little red used to be in the back of the truck at Kilimanjaro.
Exactly.
Who was the warden? What was the warden's name? God,
I gotta think of the warden's name.
Oh my gosh!
No, we just lost all these fans. Like, oh, Scott and Mike don't know what they're talking about anymore.
Not in the show, so somebody's got in the chat. Help us with the warden. Come on! Somebody's got to give us a warden. It's a warden.
I missed that part of the story.
I love that song
because I love that song. Right, I have it on my iPhone. Oh, this is entertaining, isn't it?
I know so, but I need the warden. Simba one. What? Oh man, somebody give us the word so we can end the show. All right, well, I'm going to do the outro. No, we know it's Simba one. Scott's coming in hot with Simba. We know it's Simba one, but who's the warden? He's got a name. Wilson, isn't it Wilson? And that was, by the way, by listening, that was not in the chat. I got it before the chat. It was Wilson
Matua.
Wilson Matua. Did you Google it?
Yeah, I did. Well, you got it though. You got it. I can confirm it's Wilson. And when you said it
came up with the last name. I was like, holy cow! Then I could see you reading. That was pretty good. All right. Well, okay. Now that we know Wilson's in the house and everybody's screaming at their cars.
I know. When you're live recording, like your brain just like freezes sometimes. It really does.
Yeah, totally. But it's fun because everybody in their car, like on Thursday on the feed right now, is just like, you dummies, it's Wilson. How many times did you ride the safari?
And these guys think they can host a Disney podcast.
Exactly. 1 star.
Every now and then we fail. I'm just telling you. Actually, we fail way more than one time.
Exactly. All right. Don't forget our show brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We'd love to help you plan your next Walt Disney World, Disneyland, Disney Cruise Line, or Adventures by Disney trip for no additional cost to you. Check out all the details right now over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link, beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you very much to our Patreon supporters. You guys make this show possible. It's just $5 a month, and you get a bonus show every week. It's called Mike in the Midwest. This week, we talked about my awesome stateroom host on the Disney Cruise Line that I got to talk to each day, multiple times a day, a couple of weeks ago when I was on the Disney Fantasy, and why I keep thinking about him each and every day since that cruise. And it was just because of his kindness. It wasn't about how well he made the bed. It wasn't about how well he kept the stateroom clean. It was about his attitude. It was about his kindness. It was about his handshake. and how we need a little bit more about that kind of stuff in the world. So if you want to hear about a show, it's not always about Disney, but it is about the Disney. There's Disney in it every week. Come on over and check it out. It's Mike in the Midwest. You can support the Be Our Guest podcast as well. $5 a month, patreon.com/Be Our Guest podcast. Give us a follow on social media. Scott's at Epscott, EPSCOT. I'm at Be Our Guest Mike. With Scott, you can check out everything he's doing. Must see adventures. You got to go ring the bell, subscribe, whatever that, pound the bell, whatever the YouTubers say, because he's one of them now. And he's hitting it, man. You got to check it out. He's got it all going on. They're on the ship. Southampton, I believe, is the port they sailed out of. Anthem of the Seas. They're giving you the stateroom tour, packing cubes, contest going on still on episode 3. Got to figure out how many slices you consumed, right? Is that the thing?
How many Sorrento slices? Yeah. So August, you got to have it in by the next live show, August 5th. We're giving a prize giveaway, right? Like, look at that. We have a budget for prizes. Can you believe it? It's called My Job is budgeting is paying.
That's right.
For it.
That's right.
So, but how many slices of Sorrentos? I'll say there's smaller. Mike, you've sailed Royal before. There's and if you sail Disney Cruise Line, it's very similar to like Luigi's sliced pizza.
Yeah,
right? So they're kind of small, they're thin. And I'm on the ship for 14 days. So think about it. If I did 2 a day, which is really easy to do, right? That would be 28 slices. So give us a number in the comments. How many slices am I going to have? Closest to will win a prize from us.
Is it like Price is Right rules, like closest without going over it, is closest in general?
I think I'm just going to say closest adjusted. So if you go over a couple over, then you're in. I like the question because I didn't put that detail in, so I can't.
You got to be careful now. You're giving out contests, man. You don't want to. When somebody misses, man, you'll give them the old Price is Right order.
Oh my God, I love it.
I'll be ready. So anyway, check it out. Must See Adventures over on YouTube. All right. Let's see. We'll do the skid next Sunday night, 7:00 Eastern, 6:00 Central. We'll all get back together. Please give us a call. That'll be fun. We'll have the shows Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You got a question for the Wednesday show? Mike at beourguestpodcast.com. Shoot me an email this week. Put listener questions in the header. That helps me out very much. And of course, we want to see you in the clubhouse. beourguestpodcast.com/clubhouse. We hang out there all the time, 24/7. It's going on right now. We had Julie in Scotland. She's at Walt Disney World right now. She was looking for a hairbrush. And I mean, it was a deal for 24 hours. We're trying to help her find a hairbrush on property. Guess what? We were talking, where can you find one? She couldn't find one in the Emporium. She couldn't find one we looked everywhere. She found it in the store in Japan. And that makes sense. It's a department store, right? I mean, totally. And then now she's finding them everywhere. There's a Forky hairbrush in the Toy Story store. As you come out of Toy Story Midway Mania. Wait, and what? There's one at Art of Animation somebody just posted 10 minutes ago. So this is what we do in the clubhouse. We help each other out. We don't just talk lightning lanes. She forgot her brush in Scotland. Julie needed a brush and she could not find one anywhere. Now we're posting all the places you can find a hairbrush on property. This is like the coolest.
It's amazing though. Like that's a great souvenir, right? Like, I mean, it's not going to be like a top end hairbrush by any means, but it's kind of cool. Like, hey, I got this backup emergency hairbrush from the Japan Pavilion at Epcot. I think it's amazing.
I mean, this one right here, the Art of Animation, it's a Conair hairbrush.
Oh, that's like an actual brand I've heard of. Yeah.
It's wild. So yeah, it's pretty. I love this. Like,
maybe we got to get with Wade and they can do like some Paul Mitchell thing, right?
Yes, like so random. This is killing me because it's so random. We're trying. People were saying, go to Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique. I bet you they sell brushes. Nope. They do.
Wow, that would make a lot of sense.
It would. They probably $1 million, but they probably did. Anyway, so just come over to the clubhouse. beourguestpodcast.com/clubhouse. We have a good time there all the time. It's so fun. So we'll see you over there. All right. So we're going to get out of here. We'll see you again this week on the show. So for Scott, I'm Mike, wishing you a great week. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon. All righty.
That was fun. I love this. I love recording podcasts with you, man.
I do love these. So don't edit too much though, man. You got to get some fresh air.
I know.
Trisha's calling it Game of Combs. That's so funny.
Big Brother's on tonight. I don't know if you're. I still don't know if you're still watching or not.
We have not started. We keep saying we're going to, but now I've been watching the Olympics.
Oh yeah, I know it's bad timing, kind of, right?
It is. Yep. Yeah. Now we're all in the Olympics, but we need to get on it. I bet we have it taped because we have.
It's interesting though. Did you hear like kind of like the twist? So like 3 people go on the block.
Yep. I did hear that.
That's kind of interesting. And then one of them can take themselves off like right before. So it's like live. So like, I mean, you can still plan, right? You can be like, well, if this person goes off, then I'm voting them or whatever. So like, because I hate the unanimous voting. I don't know how you feel about it, but like everyone's like afraid to like go rogue on the voting. But I feel like that might help with it a little bit. Maybe, I don't know.
It's called like the AI something, right?
Yeah, the AI arena is what
Yep.
it is.
Yep.
So that's kind of interesting though. So like, and it's done live. So then like you have like 2 minutes, not even to like cast your vote after it's done. So that's kind of cool. I think
that is better. It's kind of like the double eviction.
it's kind of like a double eviction. Yeah, in a way.
You gotta strategize real quick.
Yep. So.
Yeah, I do need to catch up on it, but now I'm like, I'll do the Olympics.
I know, and that only happens every 4 years for summer. Yeah,
exactly. Because like I've been watching all the I watched badminton today for like an hour and a half.
Yeah, we're watching equestrian and like the volleyball. Like I know
it was like cross country.
That volleyball stadium setup is unbelievable with the tower like right behind it.
Dude, that is the best. Like there was a guy like drawing the Eiffel Tower like as they were playing volleyball, like in that court.
Oh yeah, so cool.
And then Paige keeps sending me all these pictures. She's in Barcelona.
That's right. She's in Spain. That's right.
Dude, she's like she went to this old cathedral and like there was a place looked like the Arc de Triomphe or whatever in France, but it was like obviously in Barcelona. They crushed the team they played today there. But she sent me a picture of the team. I'm like, tell me you beat that team. They look like a JV team, like from Francis Howell. They were like all little and they looked like they were 12.
Oh my gosh.
Because they did a like group picture afterwards and like they posted on Instagram, like, thanks for having us, like Barcelona All-Stars. And the first thing I sent was like, Paige, tell me you won the game. She's like, we crushed them. I'm like, I hope so.
They look like a WNBA team.
They look like JV from like the high school.
Oh, that's funny. How long is she there? Like, where are they?
Until August 4th. They go to a couple of the cities.
Oh, so like next Sunday. Okay, so they're playing like a bunch of scrimmages and stuff while they're there too.
They're doing like a tour of like 3 cities.
Cool.
Yeah, so she's having a good time, I think.
Awesome. I think it's just you and me tomorrow, right? Because Ricky's anniversary, and
we can start whenever.
I think Pam's getting off the ship tomorrow. So
lucky dog. So are you working from home or in the office?
I'll be in the office, but I'll probably be like home by like 4. But by 5 probably, so we can probably start around 5 my time.
Just shoot me a text when you're ready, then we'll start when you're ready.
That sounds like a plan.
I have no rush, so just whenever you're.
I guess it depends on how the day goes, right? Like who knows, something could come up. So
I'll be ready when you're ready. So you let me know. We'll go from there. We'll just talk about your Disneyland Paris trip.
Sounds cool. All right, I like it.
All right, well, tell the girls I said hey.
Yeah, same here. Enjoy your evening. Talk to you tomorrow.
I'll see you.
All right, see you everyone.
See you guys.